Welcome to the Embodied Wisdom Podcast.
So Blake, I like reading over your stuff. I'm so curious as to like how you got into this because I know you have your father's impact on your life, and then also you took your own little detour, which turned out to be not a detour at all, but just leading you on your path to what it is you do now. So, like, where did it all start for you?
Um, Gosh. So I grew up in a house with two very loving, supportive parents. My dad created this process when I was young, and it was his mission to change the world. And he was a terrible businessman, but like he just wanted to help people. And he worked in the house, he worked downstairs, and we had like a small room my mom used as an office. And she saw clients, and he tried to get this work out into the world. And so I lived in a house of personal development and personal growth. And it's what we talked about on the dinner table. And I don't really remember, but I think when I was like 6 years old, we went to this Italian festival and I got burned with a cigarette. There's this woman just like whatever in a crowd. And the next time we went someplace and I was terrified of crowds. And my dad said, what happened? This and that. And he realized that I had this fear that this belief that crowds are dangerous.
Hmm.
So he took me through the process at 6 years old, completely like eliminated that belief. I have never had an issue with crowds in my whole life since then. So I really grew up immersed in this work. And I feel like a lot of people just rebel against what they're brought up in, right? So I was like, yep, not into personal growth, no interest. I just want to party and meet boys and travel the world and just have fun. Like, this is not for me. And I did that. And I traveled the world and I ended up in Hawaii at 18 and I started surfing and I got into skydiving and I met boys and I
Ooh.
partied and I did all the things. And then one day I was 30 something years old and I was a single mom getting out of a ridiculous relationship, bartending, drinking too much, using substances. And I was like, this is not sustainable. This is not fulfilling. Like, what am I even doing with my life? My son deserves better. I deserve better. And what had been really fun had been a lot of just suppressing everything because I hadn't worked on anything. I just ran from it and partied and adrenaline and this and distractions and it was like a real wake up call. And I was like, I just can't go on like this. And it actually, it was right after Halloween. I had bartended and partied all weekend. And I took my son and his friends, and we all partied at my house, pizza, and I'm drinking. And I woke up the next morning and I didn't remember half of Halloween. And I was like, this is nights for my kid. You know what I mean? And like to not be present enough to even remember. And I was like, yeah, no more. And so I found my way back to the process that I was so fortunate to have available to me.
Hmm.
And I started working on myself. And I got called to sit in my first ayahuasca ceremony. And between those two healing modalities, I got sober. I got out of the restaurant industry after 30 years of seeing absolutely no escape plan,
Hmm.
an exit route, and couldn't find one. And I completely changed my life. I got trained in the process. I started my own business. I created completely new community, new relationships, got into my first healthy partnership in my life. Have an amazing role model, uncle example for my son. He is now able to see what a man can be like and what a relationship can be like and what personal transformation and growth can be like. And unlike how I grew up, where it was everywhere, it was kind of shoved down my throat. It's just being like it's just an example for him. And he
Hmm.
gets to see what works and what doesn't. And
Yeah, he's got the vantage point of seeing both.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's my kids too. They have this version of me that was like pre-healed version
Sure.
versus now. And it's funny that we talk about them almost as two different people,
Hmm.
because they are. But it's really, I love that because we all get to choose. Like I was steeped in religion. And
Mm,
that was my upbringing. It was religion, it was beaten over your head. And I think there is some sort of a process that we have to reach, when we go from childhood to adulthood, we almost have to reach out to live in that karma state of like testing the boundaries and figuring stuff out. And I think we have to figure out a lot of stuff that we don't want,
mhm.
before we really can identify and define what we actually do want.
Absolutely.
So, did your father pass?
He did.
Yeah. When did he pass? So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's about 8 years ago. And unfortunately, when he died, I was, you know,
S-
still with my son's father in this like crazy toxic relationship. I was an alcoholic. I was in the restaurant industry, and he never got to see physically. I mean, I know he's
Right.
he's here.
He's
Uh,
here.
Never got to see me step into this light. And it's hard because now that I have taken his work and I'm doing it for a living and helping people just absolutely change their lives, I would love to sit down and have so many conversations with him about these different processes that he came up with and how he did it and what else we could do and what's next and how can we go bigger and more. And so that's a little bit of a struggle, but it all happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
my dad had done enough work on himself that he was so proud of me for just being me. I didn't
Yeah.
have to accomplish anything. I didn't have to achieve anything. And my mom was always really worried. And my dad always said, just trust her. Just trust her. Like he
Beautiful.
knew that I was gonna come out of it. And it didn't matter that he didn't see it because he loved me unconditionally. And
That's so beautiful. That's
yeah,
so beautiful. So I'd love to go into a little bit of what that process is. Do you want to talk about it?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So the premise is our beliefs create our reality. And when he first started doing this work, that was not a popular concept where it is
Right.
now. Today, everyone talks about beliefs and this and that. And when he came out with this and said, I can eliminate beliefs, and everyone said, no, you can't. That's not possible, you know. And now more and more people are realizing it's possible. And you
Right.
find these belief busting seminars and this and
Yeah,
that.
it's flat out science now.
Yeah. So he was very ahead of his time. And
Hmm.
the process is simple. People come to me with patterns, procrastination, anxiety, people pleasing, overachieving, anything, anything that you are stuck in, things you're doing that you don't want to be doing, things you're not doing that you want to be doing. Um, People come just rumination. I overthink everything. I have that negative self-talk. I'm always doubting myself. I
Hmm.
want to say no and I can't. I'm afraid to say no. I'm afraid to be myself. I'm afraid of this. I let this stop me. And we look at what are the beliefs contributing to that pattern? And you find them.
Hmm.
And then one by one, you go through this very simple process and you actually eliminate the beliefs driving the pattern.
And
And then
what's this simple process?
so there's a few key steps. One of them is you find the source. So let's just say I'm going to use I'm not good enough as an example because 95% of my sessions, that's the
Yep.
first belief we eliminate. It
Yep.
contributes to almost every pattern. And I'll just say that the amazing thing about this work is a lot of work is managing your symptoms and coping, right? Do this breath work, do this imagery, say affirmations. With this work, you get rid of the problem so the symptoms actually disappear. There's no managing, there's no coping. You don't need to sit on my couch for the next 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
You come for 5, 10, 15 sessions, and that's it. You're done. Like you nullify the triggers. You get rid of the problems and the symptoms go away. So you no longer have to manage them. It's amazing. It is like I still like I have a mentor and we trade sessions every week. And when stuff comes up, whatever little things, I'm like, oh, I'm being reactive here. Oh, this is making me angry. Oh, I don't have enough patience for my kid. Oh, I'm getting triggered by this. And you just find what's the belief causing it and you get rid of it and then you move on, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So the process is you find the belief, I'm not good enough. Go back to your childhood. You don't have to relive trauma. But where did that belief come from, right? Because you weren't born with it. So you look for the source. My dad was always really critical of me, my whatever it was. And, you see how these are the events that led you to conclude this belief. And then you come up with other ways of looking at those events. So, yeah, it could mean I'm not good enough. What else could it mean? Could mean that my dad didn't go to parenting school and he parented me the way that his parents parented him. Doesn't mean I'm not good enough. That's the way he would have parented anybody. It's got nothing to do with me. Doesn't mean anything about me. Could mean that my dad thought I was good enough. That's why he was criticizing me, because if he thought I wasn't good enough, why even waste the effort? Well, she's not good enough. Doesn't matter what she does. Why would I even criticize her? Could mean that in that house I wasn't good enough because there was unreasonable expectations. And it doesn't mean that I wouldn't be good enough anywhere else. Nobody was good enough in that house. It's insane to expect those
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things from. So you come up with other ways to explain the
I
events.
love that.
Realize that what you said is the truth. It's just one possible explanation, right? Then you go back, but doesn't it seem like you could actually see I'm not good enough? Like there's examples of it everywhere. People are like, yeah. You're like, okay, let's go back to that event. I see your dad. I see your report card. I see the letters on your report card. I see your backpack, what you're wearing, the room you're in. We can see all these things, right? They all have a color, a shape, a location, a texture. Where in that event is I'm not good enough? And people realize, oh my God, I didn't actually see it. I just saw events. And you realize that that belief, I'm not good enough, wasn't actually out there in the world. And if it wasn't out there in the world for all these years, it's just been in your head. It's been your truth
Ah,
and you've
so
lived it, and your
profound.
life has been consistent with that. It's like you're wearing I'm not good enough glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you see, you don't get the job. Oh, yeah, it's because I'm not good enough. The guy breaks up with me. Oh, yeah, it's because I'm not good enough. Like my friend didn't call me back. Yeah, it's because you find proof because you're constantly looking.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as energetically, we're all vibration. So when you're vibrating at a certain frequency, that's what you attract through no
Mm-hmm.
fault of your own. It's not like a conscious thing.
Mm-hmm.
You believe people don't like me, that's all you're gonna see, right? So you realize you didn't see it in the world. And then this is always kind of the really interesting step for a first session. You realize that those events happened and they had consequences. And often those consequences were insane, like abysmal, atrocious, right? People are molested, people are beaten, people are abandoned. So they had very real consequences. But what do we now know about you because those events happened? What do they mean? People realize that events in and of themselves don't mean anything. I don't know anything about who you are or who you're going to be or what's going to happen to you anywhere with any person for the rest of your life because those events happen. And if events don't have a meaning, can a meaningless event make you feel anything? And you realize that the feeling, I'm not good enough, didn't come from the event. It came from the meaning you gave the event.
Mm-hmm.
Like you felt not good enough because
Mm-hmm.
that's the meaning you gave the event. So then you go back and you imagine giving that event a different meaning. So you find the one that really resonates. There's always one where you're like, yes, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Right?
Yeah.
But as 5 years old, we don't have the brain capacity
Mm-hmm.
to think that way, right? Everything's about us. Oh, it's my fault. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. We don't go, oh yeah, my dad's a drunk because he's emotionally unstable and he's got baggage and trauma that he's never dealt with. And so
Mm-hmm.
now he drinks and he's mean to me because he's angry because he feels powerless. No, we just go, oh yeah, I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough. So now as an adult, you go back and you imagine giving those events a different meaning as a child. Oh, my dad has unreasonable expectations. because he's an overachiever and he feels like he feels insecure. So he feels like my achievements are reflecting on him. That's why he pushed me so much, not because I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And when you switch the meaning, the feeling completely shifts.
Absolutely.
And then you're like, oh, so you felt not good enough because that was the meaning you gave the events, not because of the events themselves. And if you'd given those events a different meaning as a child, would you have ever felt I'm not good enough? No. And if you didn't then, would you feel it today? No. And then there's like one more piece. If that doesn't break it, which typically it does, there's like one more piece I'll take people through. And by the end of the process, that belief is gone. And you say it in the beginning, right? You say, I'm not good enough. And you can see the energy around people, right? I'm like, how does that feel? And they're like, oh God, my neck feels tight and I feel nauseous. My stomach hurts. Like you can feel it, right? And then you have them say it at the end. And there's nothing. They're like, feels like saying I'm a monkey. Like there's just no connection to it at all.
So you muscle test it a little.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so interesting because my process is similar, except we go back to the event. I put them in a slight trance and we go back and we also look at where the emotion that's tied to the event is stored in the body
Mhm.
because the picture comes up so quickly from there. But really, really interesting. And of course, once you bring the belief into the light of your consciousness and look at it from this perspective, because I had two really dominant commands. They came up on every single trauma that I visited, which was I'm unlovable and I'm
Mhm.
not that important.
Mhm.
And when I traced it back, it kept going through my father's line. So I traced it back epigenetics wise down my dad's line. I just love to go down the DNA tracks, but what happens is it does track on our DNA. So it even came in before our lifetime because on the moment of conception, all dad's DNA and mom's DNA becomes ours, all their undealt with trauma and wounds. So I find that with a lot of people, like we'll be dealing with this lifetime, but it's actually far deeper down the track.
For
Do
sure.
you, do you come across that and what do you do with that? Hey, Tammy Cox here. If you're ready to stop repeating painful relationship patterns and finally create the love and connection you deserve, there is a way. Click the link in the description to schedule a call with me and let's talk about what's really holding you back. Now, back to the show.
I don't, and I from my experience with ayahuasca, like I've experienced that there. Um, this work doesn't, and it's never been necessary
Oh, that's
because
good.
it's typically it's the way your dad treats you and the meaning you give those beliefs that brings that I'm not important to
Yeah.
life. Because when you're born, you don't have that. When you're born, you don't say I'm not lovable and I'm not important. It might be in there somewhere, but it's the meaning you give to the events
Yes. Yeah,
that come out.
we create all the meanings and we don't
Totally.
realize it. Yeah.
So so by doing this process and realizing that you never actually saw that in the world, and then some people are kinesthetic, right? Well, I know that it's true because I felt it. And by having them experience a different feeling and it breaks that belief.
Yeah.
And now you're free to break that cycle and to keep that from going into, future generations. And even my parenting has changed so much with this work. And a lot of parents have beliefs, oh, if you yell at me, it means you disrespect me, right? And so they get angry.
Right.
And and if you can reframe that, and as you eliminate those beliefs about power and control and this and that and respect, wow, how amazing that I've created a safe enough space for my child to voice their emotions, their feelings, their thoughts. It's not that they
They're
disrespect,
discussed.
it's that they feel safe enough
Yeah.
around me to be themselves, to be authentic, to express themselves. That's not disrespect. That's the opposite.
That's so interesting because I used to get triggered. I have a 16 and 15-year-old, and I used to get triggered when they'd get emotional, right? And I know when those three adult hormones come online, our system gets all wonky. So in my
Sure.
head, I know that they're just adjusting to those new hormones, but my heart didn't know it. And so I'd get triggered when they'd get snappy or disrespectful. And I did that. I get really curious whenever I get triggered. I'm like, what's this about? So I followed it down the rabbit hole, much like your process. And I said, what's the belief coming up for me? And when I got to the bottom of it, it was a belief that I was a bad mom. And I
Mm,
was like, no wonder I'm triggered by this, because when that
absolutely.
happens, this alarm is going off that I'm a bad mom. And so when I found it, I think it's like you say, bringing it to the light of our consciousness and saying, oh, here it is. Well, that can't be true. I'm like still here. Like, look, I've done all this work on myself for them. Really, they were for me, but it was really because I didn't want
Catalyst.
to experience what I did. And so I had to look at that belief and say, yeah, that's just not true. Like, I'm a rad mom. So that's a great way to get someone who maybe could never be able to afford our services to really begin to look at when they get triggered. Whenever my clients get triggered, I'm like, goody, this is something we get to look at, right? And it's a new
Absolutely.
perspective of like, no, don't judge yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Let's get curious and go inside and investigate. Let's bring our flashlight and investigate these dark tunnels. So do you tend to only guide them through it, or do you give them ways that they can do it for themselves on their own?
Before I answer that, I want to just say I love that. And I think it's amazing that when you get triggered, you stop yourself because typically when people get triggered, they get reactive. And it's really hard to stop yourself in a reactive state,
Yeah.
right? Get triggered, and we want to like so
Oh
it's so
no, I put myself in timeout, girl.
yeah, so to have that self-awareness to be like, oh wait, I'm triggered, what's under this? Like that's amazing. That's
Hmm.
the incredible thing. So kudos to you. And what I typically do is we eliminate the beliefs. And also I want to make this work available to everybody. And that's really what my dad wanted to do. And so I have a sliding scale. And as long as I have time in my schedule, what can you afford? How can we make this work for you?
Hmm.
And that feels really good. The people that have lots of money, great, pay me lots of money. The people that don't, great, what can you afford?
Hmm.
And it kind of, it balances itself out.
I love
And
that.
and I really that's like part of my business models. I really want to make this available because so many people that need help are really dysfunctional and they're not making lots of money and they're not functioning. That's why they need our work. They need work to get them to a place where they can be sustainable, where they can be functional. I've had people that have come to me with money issues, and I'm like, great, I will take you for this much. When you see the results and you start making more money, you start paying me
That's a
more as
beautiful,
you see fit.
that is so beautiful.
Yeah,
I freaking love that. And because it's true, there has to be an energy exchange. I've noticed people that I've given things to, they don't get the results like the people that,
absolutely.
and as my prices went up and up and up, the transformations got more and more massive. So there is that an energetic exchange, but my heart so feels that with the sliding scale of like, listen, you're going to see what kind of value this is going to give to you, and you're going to reciprocate in due time when that starts to shift for you, because it is going to shift. That's faith on your behalf. You're saying, I believe so much in this that I know you're going to get your results, and when you do, I know that you're going to reciprocate, right? Because reciprocity is just, it's huge. I used to be, one of my identities was like, I was the savior. I was going to come in and save everyone. That's where I felt good, because that's where I got my value as the
Mhm.
savior, show up with my cape, right? And when I started to notice that, even getting into this work, you like my cat. She just hopped, she feels the energy. Um, when I started to get into this work and seeing myself doing it like in my clients, I'm like, no, I have to break this identity because I'm not saving anyone. I'm leading you to the water. I'm giving you the tools, but I can't heal you. You heal you, you know? And so I had to have the shift within myself to have you had to go through anything like that?
I've had a lot of shifts, but I was never the savior. That was
Oh,
not,
that's good.
um, but that leads me to another piece, right? So we have we call them survival strategies, right? So you have this belief, I'm not good enough. And then as a child, you, depending on your household, right, you get straight A's, you win the spelling bee, you make an all-star team, you make somebody happy, you look pretty, and you get validation and attention. And
Hmm.
so, oh, I see the way to be good enough is to achieve, or is to make people happy, or is to be pretty, right? And it's not a conscious thing, but that then runs your life. And it's
Absolutely.
okay to achieve, but not when it's not a choice. And you see these people that are overachievers. I'm going to go to my son's baseball game. I'm going to spend more time with my wife. I'm going to do this. And a meeting comes up and they have to because it's never enough. And they feel like that's what, like you said, that's what gives them value. That's what makes them
Hmm.
okay. That's what makes them worthy, deserving, valuable, special, good enough, right? Important, whatever those words are. And so when you eliminate that belief and then you eliminate that survival strategy, you now have a choice because you now know that you're good enough, you're important, you're lovable, you're worthy, you're deserving. And is that business meeting more important than your son's game? Maybe sometimes it is, and maybe sometimes it's not. But now you have the choice. And it
Yeah.
doesn't come from that driven, I have to, it's running my life. Now you get to be your authentic self and decide what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And I've had clients leave toxic partners, abusive partners. I've had people with emotional eating that just couldn't stop eating. And they, like, again, when you break the beliefs, the patterns fall away. There's no more managing symptoms. It just became, food became a source of nutrition, not,
Eating your feelings.
yeah, yeah, there's a word,
Yeah.
but yeah, eating your feelings, right? So you take these patterns, and when you break them, people that I had a client who was so anxious, she couldn't go anywhere. She couldn't do anything. And now she's like living her life. She's going to college. She has a boyfriend. She's going to parties. She's going to this thing. She's going to that thing. She went on a trip, right? Like when the things stopping you are no longer there, you're able to show up as your authentic self and live your life the way that you think it should be lived, right? We
And
forget, we're told this is how you should live, this is who you
mhm.
should be.
And you hit on something big, that authenticity piece. So many people, they're so filled with trauma, they don't even know what authenticity is.
Absolutely.
And it is the most delicious frequency. Like, I
I
when I
love that.
when I go to different networking, I went to a networking event last night, and there was this energy worker guy, and he comes up to me, he's like, your energy is so magnificent or something. And I was like, yeah, I work on it. But it's being so in tune with you, so authentic. So, but we got to pull the pain out. Like that's how I see it. Because strapped onto those beliefs is pain in the body. And with my clients, I utilize pulling it out via color because, color and emotions are the first two languages we learn before we have words when we're born. And so
Sure.
I really utilize that as a healing modality.
Beautiful.
Um, but it gets trapped in the body and it's directly attached to the belief. So we're looking for the belief and then we're looking to extract the pain around the belief. And so I feel like that was necessary for me. And it looks like your method doesn't deal with the emotion at all. And maybe it's not even necessary. Who
Well,
knows?
so when someone says a belief, right, before in the beginning of the session, we find the belief and they say it. And a lot of the time,
Do they find the belief at the beginning?
Mhm.
Or do you look at the pattern and
Look at the pattern, we find the beliefs, and then the session is eliminating belief after however much there's time for. Some people work really fast.
yeah,
And when you say the belief, people feel it in their body. That's in my chest.
yeah,
That's in my throat. And there's a sensation. Often it's sadness, it's anger, it's this, it's that. And so there is an emotion and it is in your body. And then that's how you check at the end when you say the belief and you're like, oh yeah,
it's
no,
not
that
there.
I don't feel sad anymore. It's not in my throat anymore. So it's the same thing. It's just, a different
Different
modality,
method.
doing it differently, different method, but it's the same idea.
And you don't, just to clarify, you don't put them in any state of hypnosis. Is this a closed eye process? No much. Okay.
No, fully conscious. At the end, we do something that's really interesting, and it's called the creator space. And you realize that, you know, do you create, is it real to you that you create your beliefs? People are like, yes. Is it real to you that your beliefs create your life? If you create the beliefs that create your life, what does that make you? The creator of my life. And you realize we go through life feeling like who we are is our beliefs. Who I am is not good enough. Who I am is not important. Who I am is not worthy. But you just eliminated 3 beliefs. Are you still here? Yeah. So you can't just be the sum total of your beliefs. You have to be the creator of your beliefs. There
Yeah.
had to be an I before there was an I'm not good enough. There had to be an interpreter before there could be an interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
And so you realize, and a couple more little steps, and you get these people into a creator space. And in that space, in this space, what's possible? People are like, everything. In
Yeah.
this space, what limitations do you have? None. And typically we live our life like something's missing. In this space, what's missing? Nothing. Okay, close your eyes. What does it feel like to be the creator of your life? Some people are, peaceful, magical, expansive, this, that, powerful, right? And and it's such this amazing moment. And the feeling doesn't last, but you get a sense of that taste. And you realize when you go back in the world and you start living like the creation, and you forget that who you really are is the creator, you can start to do the things that you're talking about. You can start,
Mm-hmm.
oh, there's this trigger. Oh, what's underneath this, right? What did I create that is now eliciting this? Because our emotions are a result of our beliefs. Our emotions are a result of the meaning we give events. And this is a tool that I give my clients. You walk into a store and somebody doesn't say hi to you, and you get sad. Oh, wow.
How dare they?
You get sad, you get angry, right? Because you're giving it the meaning, oh, I did something wrong and they're mad at me. And so you feel an emotion, right? What if you gave that event a different meaning? Maybe they have a headache. Maybe their dog died. Maybe they're fighting with their boyfriend. Maybe you unknowingly were making a sour face. And so they were like, oh, maybe she's upset. I'll give her space, right? There's a million different things. And if you give that event a different meaning, it produces a different feeling. So it's not the event that's producing the feeling, it's the meaning you're giving it. Just like our beliefs create our meaning. I'm sorry, our beliefs create our feelings.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite example. You're walking down the street and you see a man. That's the event, right? That's the event. You give it the meaning, he could hurt me. You now feel scared. That fear is real. You give it the meaning, oh, there's a giant man here. No one's going to fuck with me because he could protect me. You now feel safe. You give it the meaning, man, he's kind of cute. I wonder if he's single. You now feel excited. It's the same event with 3 completely different
Mm.
emotions.
Really great
We think
example.
that our emotions mean something. We think they are evidence of a truth, but they're
Yes.
not.
That's so
Right?
true. And that was such a great example. Because I love to use an example of a prescription of like, okay, this is, I don't have my glasses on me, but I have contacts. This prescription is just filled with all of my beliefs, and it's the way I look out and perceive everything.
Yes.
There is nothing meaningful about anything. We give it the meaning. We give the meaning of everything. Nothing inherently means anything. And
That's
and
that, that's
I
the
I
crux of
find
the
it
work.
What's that?
Sorry, that is the crux of our work.
Yeah. And I love it too because with working with so many different people and seeing life through their lens, I'm just like, this is so funny. I get to basically sample everyone's prescription
Mm.
because, and that's what we're all doing all the time when we have conversations with people and someone's like venting to us or whatever, and they're telling us this event and we're just perceiving it a totally different way. We're like, why would you be upset about that? Like, but I mean, I don't have a lot of those conversations anymore because if it doesn't feel good to me, I'm not having the conversation. I have very high standards there now. But everything is like everything is just perception. And we could choose a positive or negative frame for that image all the time. Anything
Yes.
comes in. But one thing that I have found super profound, once we get to that place where you're describing, where we understand we are the creator, we're creating the prescription, we're creating the scene as it's unfolding, we're creating all of it because we're living in a magnet. We're magnets, and we're magnetizing to us all the beliefs that we believe.
Oh, I
So,
love how you put that.
so in when something shows up, instead of cursing the thing that shows up, get curious and say, "I wonder what part of me magnetized that."
Why is this here?
It showed up because it
Yeah,
aligned to where I'm at. So instead of cursing what's showing up, you get curious.
I love that.
Um, because we're never going to stop having challenges as human beings. That's never going to happen. But we get to look at those challenges as that, not problems, not mistakes, as challenges.
Yeah, and that's
Challenges are
a
fun.
perspective shift, which is amazing. And there's a piece where people try and talk themselves out of beliefs, right? They try and switch that perspective. But when you have that belief, it's really hard. So if you believe you're pretty, you don't wake up and say affirmations every morning. You don't have sticky notes on your fridge and your bathroom mirror saying you're beautiful. It's redundant because you think you're pretty.
Yeah.
But if you think you're ugly, you have to get rid of that belief, right? You have to switch your perspective because otherwise you can tell yourself all day long, I'm pretty, you're beautiful, this and that, but it's exhausting. Trying to talk yourself out of beliefs is exhausting. And I have clients that do that. Oh no, I know I'm good enough. I know I'm lovable because I have a husband and I know my child loves me and I know my friend. But they have to talk themselves into that all the time. That's exhausting. If you get rid of the root, if you get rid of that belief, it's not a conversation anymore. And now you have all that energy to put towards anything else that you want. And that's such a huge piece because it's so tiring to talk ourselves into and out of things. No, I know that this because of this, and I have proof of this. But if you just get rid of the belief, it's redundant. You don't have to do that anymore. And the energy piece that you commented on before, where someone said you have magnificent energy right at this networking event, that vibration, that energy changes as we do this work, right? You're saying there's like a past version of us and there's this present version of us. And my energy is so different. And I've had clients eliminate beliefs in front of me. This one woman got rid of the belief I'm not safe. That has
Hmm.
run her life. It was at the root of
That was a big one
every
for
time. And
me.
she had so much trauma. I mean, just insane childhood. And we got rid of that belief. And it was like somebody took 50,000 pounds of weight off her shoulders. And she physically like collapsed on the desk and she sat back up and her energy was visibly different.
Glowing. Oh, yeah.
Like her
They look
face was
so
different,
much
the sleep.
lighter.
I've seen people like they sit up straighter, their shoulders, and it's amazing to watch the transformation. And this woman, she's 60 years old, still afraid of her mother, people pleasing, doesn't have a relationship, can't say no to anybody, is afraid to do anything because what if someone asks her something, or what if she attracts a dangerous person that wants something from her and she can't say no, and she lives this very sheltered, fearful life. And we worked on these beliefs and we got rid of her anxiety. We got rid of her people pleasing. We got rid of her fear. And she shows up one day and I was like, you look
Who are
amazing.
you?
Like, she doesn't even look like the same person. And it manifested physically, right? She got her hair cut and I was like, you look so cute. And she was like, yeah, I went in and for the first time in 60 years, I told the guy what kind of haircut I wanted. Her relationship with her mother changed. Her relationship, she was able to say no to her daughter for babysitting. She started going out and doing things.
Hmm.
It's like, I want to meet a man. And I was like, amazing. Like, what's in your way of stopping that? Let's get rid of that so you can manifest an incredible partner for you. And it was so cool to watch this transformation. And she literally just looked different. Her energy, how she carried herself, she used to speak more quietly and monotone, and now she's excited and she's animated and she showed up one day and she was like, Blake, I don't even know what to work on. And I was like, amazing, you're done. You graduated. Congratulations. Check in all the time. Send me emails. I love you. You're amazing. And when something comes up, you know where to find me.
Hmm.
And to have those calls with people, I had
Oh.
a guy that was an alcoholic. He was so dysfunctional. He couldn't hold a job. He couldn't hold a relationship. In the beginning, he would miss sessions because he was on benders. And he had, I don't call her godmother, who had worked with me and was like, will you please work with him? I will pay. Like, I know that you are the only thing that can help him. He stopped drinking. He held a job. He ran into his ex-wife. She was like, I don't even recognize you. You don't even look like the same person. We worked on money stuff. He was able to start saving money and not just spending it. Like, we worked on all these things. And one day he was like, Blake, my life is not where I want it to be, but nothing stresses me out anymore. Nothing triggers me anymore. I'm able to have conversations with my brother and my father. I'm creating relationships with them. And as we do this work, we create space for people and things to show up differently for us. Because like
Hmm.
you're saying, we're magnets, right? And if we believe life is hard and people are dangerous and I can't trust people and people are out to get me, that's what's going to show up for you. And when you get rid of those beliefs, all of a sudden you make space for things to show up differently. When you eliminate beliefs about yourself, you make space for people to show up differently. This woman, 60 years old, all of a sudden her mom started treating her differently because she created the space for that, because she put up boundaries, because her energy shifted, because her magnets changed. And it's so beautiful.
Yes, her magnets changed.
Stories.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, and that's why I'm so passionate about this work. And that's why like I don't want to say no to anybody because I see the shifts and I know what's possible. And people kept asking me, what's your niche? Do you do anxiety? Do you do emotional eating? And I was like, I do everything. And people were like, you can't have that as a niche. You can't advertise to that. And I was like, but that's what I do. And so I found a way to word it, which is freedom. I give people freedom, and whether that's freedom from anxiety, freedom from emotional eating, freedom from fears, freedom from whatever it is, it's being free to live your life the way you want to live it. And like you said before, some people don't even know how they want to live it because they're so in survival mode and people pleasing. So great, let's get that stuff out of the way. Let's eliminate beliefs like other people's wants and needs are more important than mine
Hmm.
and make space to see what is it that you want? What drives you? What gets you out of bed? What lights you up? What are you passionate about? And how do you create more of that in your life? I love it.
Mic drop, mic drop. How do we get more of the good stuff in your life? Yeah, it's interesting because when I first start working with a client and I ask them what they want, and they look at me like, what? I don't know what I want. They have no idea, like no one has ever asked them.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, it takes a couple of sessions before they start to get a picture of what they want because they've been bogged down with all those limiting beliefs and everything attached to it till they finally understand that they're worthy of having the things that they want, that they could even put it to words, right? And then by the end, they're just like, they're doing all, because it's very much like, if you are worthy, then we got to prove that to your subconscious mind, right? And the only way to do that is by doing the things that light you up, that turn you on, right?
You know,
Right. So you have to start, for me, that's how I know that like the lighter thing, for instance, always at the end of the session, when I bring them out of their trance, I say, "How do you feel?" And they say, "Lighter."
hmm,
Because yeah, you just unloaded a freaking huge weight from that backpack you've been carrying around forever.
totally.
Isn't it so wonderful that that's what we get to do for a living is, you know, take some of the luggage out of the backpack that they're carrying, these people all their lives carrying around these weights. And we're just like, let's grab that next one. That's just beautiful stories. I love those stories. I love those transformations. So, as we're winding down, we need to let everyone know where they can find you, where they can get in touch.
So I offer a 20-minute free discovery call.
Hmm.
Ask me anything, tell me where you're at, any doubts, any questions, anything. And from there I can tell you how I can help you, and we go from there. And my website is blakelefkoe.com. And on there, the only call to action, the only thing you can do is book a free discovery call. And I'm here. If that's too much, you can email me, blakelefkoe@gmail. I try and stay off social media. People keep telling me I should do it more, so I playing on Instagram a little bit, but I really don't like it. But I do have a page.
I really don't like it, so don't visit me there.
It's what is it? Underscore Blake's world underscore Blake's dot world. Um and yeah, there's pictures of me and my kid and me and my man and me in the ocean. I'm an avid water woman. That's like where I spend most of my time, is doing amazing things in the
Ooh.
ocean. I wing foil.
What's that?
So a foil is it's like an airplane wing, is aerodynamic and it creates lift. This is hydrodynamic. So it's under a kind of surfboard and you are able to ride the energy of the ocean.
No way.
YouTube it after this. It's
Okay. What's it called?
wing foiling. So you have a wing in your hand, like you inflate it, and then you have this foil, and you can go out into the ocean and you can ride the open ocean energy. We just did a 30-miler downwind adventure last weekend for my birthday. We're training to go from Molokai to Oahu at the end of July. There's like a big race. And then you can also just go out into our local break right here and just go catch waves. Use the wing to get you out. You depower the wing and you ride the wave forever. And you get the wing. It's like having your own personal jet ski. It just takes you back.
Wow. That is
So
so cool.
it's amazing. And we have a jet ski
That's
and we tow into waves. And I'm just
and
a
what's your
boiling
sign?
addict.
Do you have
Gemini.
much? You're Gemini. Is Gemini water?
Mm-mm. I don't remember what it is, but it's not water. But I think that's why I have to be in the water all the time.
But I'm wondering, do you know your full astrology chart? Oh, okay. Not your thing. Because it would make sense if there was a lot of water in your chart.
Yeah. So that Instagram is there. If you send me a message, I will get it and respond. But you can book the consultation right on the website. You can email me. I'm very available and I'm I can help. I can really help you get unstuck. And people that come to me have often said, I've tried everything and nothing works. And I'm like, amazing. Well, you're in the right place. And there's freedom. It's
That's
possible.
that's who I like to work with as well.
Yeah.
The ones who have tried everything else. Because here's the thing, the old systems don't work anymore. Talk therapy, it's step one, but if you only do talk therapy, this is just straight up facts right now, science. that talk therapy doesn't do much. This
It's
is,
curative, right? Like you don't
yeah,
have to come back forever. You come, you work on your stuff goes away, and you go back to life, and something comes up, and you come back for a cleanup session or whatever. But you get the skills and tools to, like you're
yes.
saying, to do all this work to go, oh gosh, what is under this trigger? Okay, I'm not going to be reactive. What's going on here? What do I believe? And I have clients that have like learned how to do the process on themselves
Yes.
come to me every once in a while because sometimes it can be hard to find all the beliefs. So they'll come to me with patterns, we'll find all the beliefs, and then they go and they do the work on, on themselves, or they get stuck, they hit a snag, they email me like, and I love my clients. It's not like therapy where it's this like whatever relationship. Like I love them and I tell them that I love them and we stay in touch after through emails and
I know you get so attached, right? I get
yeah, because
so
it's an
attached to my
amazing thing
clients.
to help people through this journey of,
Lifing.
yes, and letting go what doesn't serve them anymore, right? And you see it in every aspect of your life, right? When I started doing this work, my parenting changed, how I showed up at work changed. I mean, my job changed, everything changed, right? But in the beginning, like I noticed, gosh, I'm not defensive anymore. Gosh, I'm able to have this situation and not be angry anymore. Someone cuts me off or flips me off, and I'm like, gosh, they must be having a terrible day. Like, how angry? Like, and I just have compassion for them. And I'm like, it sucks to just be so angry. Like, it
But
doesn't bother
girl,
me.
I will tell you this. When I visited Oahu, I could not believe how slow everyone drove. They're like, "Oh, this is island time." I was like, "Oh my gosh." It made me
When they'll
so
stop and they'll
anxious.
let you go. No, 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 you go.
Oh
Okay, no,
no, no one
go.
let me go. And I was an impatient 19-year-old trying to get around on your two
That's town.
freeways.
That's Honolulu. It's totally different up here.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, you have you are very balanced. Your right and left hemisphere of your brain are they are so balanced.
So,
You are very synced up and balanced. It's crazy.
amazing.
Yeah, it's nice and I mean, I'm so lopsided in my energy. You are just so very well balanced. So it's perfect for you to do what you do.
Thank you.
It's perfect for you to do what you do. And thank you for the gift of carrying on your dad's legacy. Is obviously a really beautiful thing. And where are you going to take it to? Who knows? But you're going to do bigger and better and greater things because
Yeah.
he gave you the stepping stone to reach the higher levels. So, what a beautiful story. Um,
Yeah.
my dad was one of my greatest teachers, but not in the same way. Not in the same way.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much for coming on and sharing this
So
with
much for
us.
having me. You're an amazing person and you do have magnificent energy. And I love the gifts that you're giving to the world and to your clients. And it's, I was talking to my boyfriend last night and it was like, just what's going on in the world and this and that. And like, well, what are you? And I was like, you know what? All we can do is work on ourselves and be the best version of ourselves. And we have our house be amazing house. And we work on our community. And how do we bring that light and joy into the community? And it spreads, right? Through every person that we help, every smile we give, everything we do, every client we work with, they're going to bring that joy and light and energy out into the world. And it spreads. Light spreads. You can't stop it. And that's how we defeat the darkness is by spreading that light, by
Uh-huh.
getting curious.
And this chaos happening right now is necessary for the ascension of the planet. It has to happen this way. There has to be a crumbling of old systems before the new can be birthed. So I know most people are looking out there like, but no, it's so good because the old is crumbling away. It's falling away. It's dissolving. This has to happen for the new to take.
And to make room for more light.
Exactly. So, but I know a lot of people are there. They're like, oh, the world's falling apart. I don't see it that way.
It's all perspective.
Yeah.
All the meaning you
Perspective.
give.
Yep. Old has to dissolve, girlfriend. Well, how long have you been with this new partner?
A year.
A year.
And I met him and I was like, oh, I've been waiting for you for 42 years. I was like, do you want to just like move in and
Oh my gosh, we're the same age. Are you
share my
42?
family? Yeah.
I am too.
Nice. Yeah,
That's crazy.
it was like we met and it was just like, oh, cool. Let's just do
Easy.
this.
Let's
And
just be together forever.
forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. It's and he's my ocean partner, he's my life partner, he's my family partner. We go and do like amazing ocean adventures
So
together.
he has a child and you do?
His child is 19, so she's at school. She's actually here visiting right now. So we've
Uh-huh.
got a whole little family together, which is really fun.
Cute.
And
And
my son's
you
11. He's almost
and
12.
okay. Oh, so that those hormones are fixing to come online. 12 and a half was right when they start really percolating. So there'll be some grace extended.
Thank you
It-
so much for having me. This has been an awesome conversation, and I'm
yes,
gonna check you out. It sounds like what you do is really amazing, and I'm
it's
glad you're
pretty
able
cool. And what you do is really amazing too. You do it in a way more straightforward, kind of conscious way. I'm so like spiritual up in the clouds. I make everything this really big spiritual deal. Um, but you're very, like I said, you're very, very solid and grounded and steady.
yeah. And it's like I'm real and I encourage my clients to be the same and I help them get to that place. And the last thing is I was talking about that creator space that you get to in the end, right? In the session. And when you're in that creator space and I ask people, close your eyes, right? How does this feel? And I say, in this space where anything's possible, you have no limitations and nothing's missing. What do you want your life to look like? And in that space, you get this clarity of like, I want more friendships. I want more love. I want more freedom. I want more ocean time. I want more of this. I want more of that. I want less of this. And I'm like, amazing. What's standing in your way of having that? And then someone will be like, oh, I don't deserve it. Or life's hard. Or I have to work really hard, right? Whatever it is. And you're like, amazing. We'll start the next session with that.
Love it.
And that's that a little more, I don't know if you want to call it spiritual, but just
Yeah, definitely.
out of their heads where they're able to be in a place where they're like, this is what I want to
Yeah,
create.
in their subconscious mind, I would call that the subconscious mind in that image factory where all life starts.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
If you ever come to Hawaii, let me know.
Yeah, girl, I'm gonna come visit you in Hawaii, okay? My kids are dying. My daughters are dying to go to Hawaii. They keep asking me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, too bad flights are like $1 million."
Come in September.
September's a good time, huh? Okay. Well, I will keep you updated. You're on Podmatch, so I have all your information, headshots, links. Is there any link that other than the ones through Podmatch?
Just the website.
Okay.
If you want to put my Instagram, you can. I think it's up there. I'm not sure. It's yeah, it's underscore Blake's dot world.
Okay. We'll put it all on. And if there's anything you need from me, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This
You're
was great.
so welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Aloha.
Aloha.